What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is going to be a clan boss guide. Today, I'm gonna teach you guys how to one-key every single difficulty, every single affinity without using any of the big boy champions. No Dracomorph, no Jintoro, no Turvol, no Ninja, none of the fancy ones. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Spot for actually bringing this hidden gem to light. So, you guessed it right. We are actually going to use Exemplar. She is gonna be spotlighted in today's video. This used to be one of the worst epic champions in the entire game. Now, a few months ago, she got a little buff, okay? She doesn't have the craziest gear in order to allow you to one-key. He's as well a very low spender. He's been playing for from 2019, so that can justify, okay, he grinded a lot of gear for the last 3 years, but these are his stats. Now, I'm going to show you the stats that I have. I'm going to show you the team that we're going to run for Exemplar. And we're going to talk a bit about Exemplar just before we move over to the entire team to explain you why this champion can do what she does. So she is a Void Affinity Epic Champion from the High Elves faction. The A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, places an extra hit if this attack is critical. So this will actually attack the opponent twice. Puts one of the target skills, blah blah. This is actually pretty pointless. It's not really gonna benefit the champion on clan boss. We're not going to use the A3 at all, so we're completely gonna block this skill. This is on a 3-turn cooldown if you fully book it, but again, it's not really gonna benefit our team in the clan boss. The A2 attacks 3 times at random, so this makes it perfect to use this champion on a Giant Slayer. This skill is on a 2-turn cooldown and it has a 100% chance to land weaken. So you guessed it right, we're gonna need to have a different champion for defense down, and this champion can actually work in a couple of different teams and still get pretty solid results with it. But this is Exemplar. Now, we're actually gonna run the champion on the mid-foot team, and I have the speeds right here for you guys. If you haven't seen a guide on this team, I'm gonna give you the speeds right here. I'm gonna copy paste this link to the calculator in the pinned comment, so check it out if you want to build this team. You don't have a lot of space to wiggle with the speeds if you want to make this team to work on every single affinity and difficulty. Now, Fushan is going to be the speed lead. We're getting 24% speed from there, plus we're getting defense down from the champion. That actually covers pretty much everything that we need. Defense down, weaken. We have Demita, 291 speed. That's the highest speed that we have. We have Harris at 262. Make sure you guys are putting in the gear sets. If the gear sets are not inputted right here, your team might fail because it's going to show you that it works in the calculator, but it might not be true speed. So it's very important to check your game and see what gear sets you have on your champions and come and input it here to get the real speed. You see 315.19. If you're going a bit lower than that, the entire mojo is gonna ruin, you see? So you gotta be spot on. You don't really have a lot of space to wiggle around. Harris, she's at 262 speed. Again, she has a lot of steel, only one speed set because we have her on a toxic set. That will boost our damage quite a bit. We have Seeker at 184 speed, and we have Exemplar at 169. That will make it work on Ultra Nightmare, on Brutal, and will work on every single affinity, including Spirit. Now, with higher speeds, it won't work on Spirit. It's going to be a bit of an RNG fest. Sometimes it might fail, sometimes it might not. It really depends if any of your champions get resisted on decreased speed. That can mess up your entire mojo, basically. But this is the team, guys. So it's going to come in sync from a turn 5. It's going to be perfectly in sync. Some champions will go on a 3-to-1 ratio. Some of them will go on a 2-to-1 ratio. And this should easily one-key every single affinity, every single difficulty. The reason why I'm mentioning affinities as well is because I do have 2 Force champions. I have 1 Magic and I have 2 Voids. The main DPS is Void. That's why we should be able to do every single affinity without having a big struggle. On Spirit, it might be a bit harder for Fushan, but that's about it. Let's move over to do the clan boss run. Here we are, guys. This is going to be our team. We have Fushan, we have Exemplar, we have Demita, Harris, and Seeker. This is the mid-fu. So I already showed you the speeds. Those are the right speeds to make this team work on every single affinity and difficulty. I'm gonna show you the team preset because that's important as well to ensure that this team will work on full auto. Plus, I've put together a couple of different examples where you could use Exemplar. So the mid Fu, we don't use the A2 on Fushan because we want to prioritize the A3 and A1 to drop more damage from there. Exemplar, we are not using the A3 because it's a single hit. We want to prioritize Giant Slayer with the A2 and A1 triple hits here as well because of the extra hit when the attack is critical, and that's always going to happen as long as you have a 100% crit rate. Then we have Demita. We are prioritizing the A1. Then we're putting the A2 on the second priority. We want to make sure she's never messing it up. Sometimes they are doing it, or they used to. I'm not sure if Plarium actually fixed that in the end, or it's just the AI being busted. Harris, prioritizing the A2. Very important to make that choice as well. And Seeker, we are starting with the A1. We have a 1 turn delay on his A2. And like this, the team will run on full auto without a problem. Another example where you could use a Exemplar, funny enough, is Meet Harris. Now, I personally do not have a guide on this team. If you search it on YouTube with this name, I'm pretty sure Deadwood Jedi might have a guide on the team. And you're going to use Deacon Armstrong as the lead instead of Fushan. You are dropping a DPS in order to lower the speeds of your team. So with double Thermimeter Booster, the team will be a bit slower. You don't need to have such high speeds to make it work, even though they're not that high, actually. Like 290 speed is just not high. But that's pretty much how Meet Harris looks like. Or you could run Exemplar on a slow man-eater team, plus many other different options out there. I'm just giving you guys a couple of different examples. So we have a Ferrokin the Fat Exemplar, double man-eater, and we have a Brachus. You can use a Krayla Witch Arm if you want to have increased attack and more ally attack, or use a Frozen Banshee instead of Brachus, or use a Occult Brawler and you can have a full epic team and stuff like that. So pretty solid options. Like these teams, they will definitely provide you with great results for every single difficulty. Let's take in our team for a spin and see what sort of damage we're gonna get out of Exemplar in here. It's funny to see such a champion with such a bad reputation in Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and now we're saying she's actually decent. You can finally have a spot for Exemplar, especially if you don't have any of the big boy champions, you know? I feel like in a team like this, it might be slightly better than having Fane as an idea. Like Fane, she's nice. She does bring the poisons defense down and weaken, but it doesn't bring you that much damage, you know? Like when I've made my Clan Boss tier list with the DPS, she was ranking kind of at the bottom next to Venus. I feel like Exemplar is definitely going to be a much solid option for this sort of teams, you know? But let's see. 75k, 75, 77. And then you have the Giant Slayer. So you could potentially get around 400k damage from the A1 and the A2 if the Giant Slayer hits proc with every single hit. That's actually pretty good. 75, 67, 70. We got a Giant Slayer proc in there too. So that's almost 300k. 68k, 70, 70, 79. The damage is not bad at all, considering that I haven't gave her like crazy gear. She has pretty good stats, don't get me wrong, but she's not on like the craziest tier, you know. The poison bar is full with one toxic set from Harris, so having Faney here would actually be bad, because what's gonna happen there is that they're gonna drop in with decreased attack, and you're gonna lose a debuff slot, maybe, you know. I like Fane, I like Anax, but they're both kind of like taking on a spot on the poison bar, you know. So let's see, 77, yeah, that's about the average, in between 70 and 80k. I've seen 81k damage from Exemplar in there. But I'm gonna fast forward towards the end of the run, guys, where we're gonna see the total damage. There we go, 80k, 81k. I think that was the A1 too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the A3 one. She actually throws the whatever she throws, blades, or I don't know. I used to hate this champion. Well, now she actually looks better, so I can't complain about her. But let's jump straight at the end where we're gonna get to see the total damage. And here we are, guys. We are near the end. Turn 48, 97 million damage. Who would have thought that we're gonna see Exemplar in a clan boss team that deals almost 100 million damage on Ultra Nightmare? Pretty damn crazy too, if you ask me, right? I'm very curious to see her total damage at the end. She does smack pretty hard though. So overall, she brings in a decent damage. Definitely a hidden gem. Big shout out to Spud again for bringing this to light, because if no, I was gonna have no idea. And probably a lot of you guys were gonna have no idea about what Exemplar can do. We hit over 100 million damage. Pretty damn impressive. And we have Fushan, which is a +2 on my account, so he is empowered, with 25 million damage. We have Exemplar with 26.8 million damage, guys. Beating a +2 Fushan. Definitely very, very solid. Demita with 7. We have Harris with 25 because we have the Phantom Touch on her and we have the Toxic set. We have Seeker with 16 million damage. Now, if you get a Phantom Touch on Exemplar as well, it's gonna be so freaking powerful because of all the extra hits. It's actually very, very solid. So let me quickly show you the total stats on my champions, just so you guys can see how they're actually built. Let's start with Demita. So we have her on 3 speed sets. Total stats, we have 3.3k attack, 104 crit rate, 153 crit damage. Masteries, we have offense and support 3. Tier 6, we have War Master. We could actually get counter attack masteries on her if we want and get deterrence. So maybe every now and then we're gonna drop a counter attack when the stun lands, and that will boost a bit our damage. Then we have Harris. She is on a toxic set and a speed set. Total stats, we have 4.3k attack, 300 attack comes from the blessings, 261 speed, 99 crit rate, 251 crit damage. Masteries, I have offense and support 3. You want to make sure you're getting stat fast on this champion. She cannot be the stun target no matter what, okay? She needs to cleanse the rest of the team. And then Sniper, Master Hexer will actually help with the toxic set. So pretty important there as well. War Master. The next champion is Fushan. This is the build that I have on him. Mixed sets. Total stats, 5.3k attack, 204 speed, 102 crit rate, 270 crit damage, 290 accuracy. The attack is pretty low for a +2, okay? So I haven't went all the way crazy with Fushan. Masteries, we have offense and defense 3. We have War Master as a tier 6. We could go on the defense 3 and get deterrence if you guys want. I chose to go with Cycle of Magic, Sniper, and Master Hexer to help with the defense down, even though I don't really think it's needed because they're getting so many turns, they're gonna constantly keep these debuffs up and running. Then we have a Seeker. He's on a Savage and a speed set. Total stats, 4k attack, 187 speed, 102 crit rate, 255 crit damage. And Masteries, we have War Master as tier 6, and I have the defense. Retribution, I haven't changed the masteries from the Barrier, I just lowered the speeds. And we have the last champion, Exemplar. Crit damage set, speed set, and cruel. Total stats, 6.2k attack, 173 speed, 100 crit rate, 267 crit damage, 244 accuracy. Masteries, we have offense and support, Cycle of Magic, Master Hexer, Giant Slayer as tier 6. Again, you could go on defense 3 and get deterrence as masteries. The speeds that I have on my team that you see right here will not be 100% on spirit. So follow the speeds I showed you in the calculator. I showed you the builds on my champions to see the damage stats, okay? Follow the speeds in the calculator. I showed them to you at the beginning of the video. The link is in the comments below. And you're going to be able to make the team work on spirit without a problem as well. But that was all for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about Exemplar. Make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below. Who would have thought that Exemplar, one of the well-known as one of the worst epics in the entire game, will actually do such a solid damage on Clan Boss? Spud actually dealt over 30 million damage with Exemplar, and he had slightly lower stats than my Exemplar. So it's a bit of RNG here and there with the Giant Slayer and all that. But that was all for this video. Don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.